So remember when we talk about vocabulary and those long words, that those long vocabulary words actually mean simple things. So if you see the word partitioning, it actually has the word part in it. So if you're partitioning shapes, you're breaking shapes into equal parts. So to partition means to divide or break up into parts. This week, we're going to divide shapes into equal parts. These parts are known as halves, thirds, and fourths. So halves or a half means there are 2 equal parts. Thirds, there are 3 equal parts. And fourths mean there are 4 equal parts. So you can see part of the words in the numbers. Let's take a look at the first one. So here we have a rectangle. They would like us to partition it into 4 equal parts and then label what part is. So our choices are a half, a third, or a fourth. So if we partition it into 4 equal parts, it is a fourth of the whole rectangle. So each part is 1/4. Now we have the same rectangle, and we are going to partition it or divide it equally into 2 equal parts. If we divide it into 2 equal parts, each part is going to be either a half, a third, or a fourth. If we divide it in half, it has 2 equal parts. So each part is a half of a whole rectangle. Number 3 wants us to divide the same rectangle into 3 equal parts. Now, I know there are different ways to do this, so if you come up with a different way than I have modeled, that's all right. I know that there is more than one answer to partition. So this one we have to partition into 3 equal parts. And then after we do that, each part is either a half, a third, or a fourth of the whole rectangle. Well, if there are 3 equal parts, it is a third of the whole rectangle. So there are 3 different pieces, and each piece is a third of the rectangle. Now, we're going to use circles. You can partition circles into equal parts as well. You just have to be a little more careful. So here we have a circle, and they would like us to partition it into 2 equal parts. Well, you can draw a line right down the middle. You could also do it diagonally or horizontally going across, as long as both halves are equal. Now, doing it in 3 equal parts is a little tricky. You can't just draw 2 lines down the middle or 2 lines going across. You have to partition so each piece is equal. Here, we are able to draw 3 separate lines that connect in the middle so that each piece is equal. Now, we're going to do the circle in 4 equal parts. If you're able to do it in 2 equal parts, if you draw 1 more line, you'll be able to do 4 equal parts. Just draw a cross right in the middle, and each piece or each fourth will be equal. Now, let's look at the rectangle and the circle that we have been working with. How are the rectangle and the circle models the same, and how are they different? Well, let's first look to see how they are the same. Well, they are the same because they have been divided into equal parts. The rectangle is in 3 parts, the circle is in 4 parts, but all of their parts are equal. So each one has been divided into equal parts. They've been partitioned. How are they different? Well, first, they're different shapes. Secondly, they have been divided into a different number of shapes. The rectangle has 3 equal shares or thirds. The circle has been partitioned into 4 equal parts, which is fourths. So they are the same because they are divided into equal parts. They are different because the equal parts are different shapes and sizes. All right, finally, number 8. The rectangle is divided into halves. That means there are 2 pieces. we need to show a way to divide it again so that each part is a fourth of the rectangle. So we need to draw a line where it turns from halves to fourths. If we draw a line across, we now have 4 equal parts, or each part is known as a fourth.